3 months ago, the Portland Trail Blazers were one of the NBA's biggest surprise stories. A young team that almost nobody expected to reach the playoffs battled its way into the postseason, stole a game from the eventual Western Conference champions, the San Antonio Spurs, and gave the entire city of Portland real hope for the future. But making the playoffs was never the ultimate goal. Moral victories don't build championship franchises, and the Blazers knew it. So this offseason, Portland made one thing clear. They were done waiting. They traded for a two-time All-Star point guard, hired a brand new head coach, welcomed back the greatest player in franchise history, and assembled a starting lineup that could become one of the most talented and unpredictable groups in the Western Conference. On paper, everything looks promising. But depending on who you ask, this team is either a disaster waiting to happen or the smartest rebuild in the NBA that almost nobody is talking about. Today, we're breaking down everything that changed, whether these new pieces actually fit together, and if this reloaded Blazer squad is finally ready to become a legitimate threat in the West. Let's start with the move that completely changed the conversation. Because the first question everyone asked was simple. Did trading for Ja Morant actually make sense? At first glance, the answer seemed to be, not really. During his end-of-season press conference, Blazers general manager Joe Cronin didn't hide the team's biggest weakness. Portland desperately needed more shooting, especially in its playoff series against San Antonio. The Spurs packed the paint, ignored Portland's outside shooting, and challenged the Blazers to beat them from beyond the arc. They couldn't. Getting Damian Lillard back from injury certainly helped solve part of that problem. But the front office wasn't thinking only about next season. They were planning for the future, one that eventually exists without Dame. That's exactly why the Ja Morant trade felt so confusing on the surface. Morant doesn't solve Portland's shooting issues. If anything, he adds another player who thrives attacking the rim to a roster that already struggled with offensive spacing and efficiency. But once you look at what Portland actually gave up, the deal starts to make a lot more sense. Just a few years ago, the idea of Memphis trading Ja Morant was almost unimaginable. He was the face of the franchise, the player they planned to build around for the next decade. Fast forward 3 seasons, and everything changed. A series of off-court controversies and injuries caused Morant's value to drop dramatically. By the time serious trade discussions began, the biggest challenge wasn't convincing Memphis to move him. It was finding a team willing to take the risk. That's where Portland stepped in. The Blazers didn't have to sacrifice their young core or empty their future by giving away multiple first-round picks. Instead, they landed Morant in exchange for Jeremy Grant and Chris Murray. Before celebrating the trade, though, it's important to understand exactly what Portland gave up. Jeremy Grant was a centerpiece of the package. He averaged 18, 6 points per game while shooting 45% from the field and nearly 39% from three-point range, making him Portland's most reliable perimeter shooter. But there's another side to that story. Grant is now 31 years old. His defense has declined from its peak, and despite standing 6'8", he's never been a particularly strong rebounder. His production has slowly trended downward over the past few seasons, while his contract has remained expensive. At this stage, his salary arguably outweighs his on-court impact. The second player heading to Memphis was Chris Murray. Murray has always shown the qualities coaches love in a role player. He's athletic, plays with energy, competes on every possession, and consistently does the little things that don't appear in the box score. Unfortunately, his offensive game never fully developed, and his defensive value alone wasn't enough to secure a long-term role in Portland's plans. After hearing those two names, most people expected the Blazers to include multiple first-round draft picks. They didn't, and that's exactly why this trade generated so much attention. If Ja Morant returns anywhere close to the player he once was, Portland may have pulled off one of the biggest steals of the entire offseason. At just 26 years old, Morant has already built an impressive resume. Across 7 NBA seasons, he's averaged 22. For points, 7. For assists, and 4. 6 rebounds per game. He's a 2-time All-Star, a former Most Improved player, and one of the league's most electrifying athletes. His talent has never been questioned. Everything else has. Starting in 2023, everything began to unravel. Morant faced multiple suspensions after flashing firearms on social media. In 2025, he was suspended again after mimicking a gun celebration during a game. Later that same year, Memphis handed him another suspension for conduct detrimental to the team following reported conflicts with the coaching staff. Then came the injuries. A sprained UCL limited him to just 20 games last season before ultimately ending his year in January. And then there's a shooting. Can you realistically build around a point guard who's never developed into a reliable three-point threat? Morant's career best mark from beyond the arc was 34% during the 2021-22 season. Since then, he's hovered around the 30% range, and last season's 5% certainly didn't ease anyone's concerns. In today's NBA, that's a difficult profile to build around, especially for a 6'2" lead guard. But here's the other side of the argument. Players like Ja Morant almost never become available. When he's healthy, focused, and playing at his best, he's still one of the most explosive guards in basketball. Few players can pressure the rim the way he does. Every drive forces defenses to collapse, opening opportunities for everyone around him. That's why this entire trade comes down to one simple question. Is the Ja Morant from 2021 through 2023 still in there? If the answer is yes, Portland may have pulled off one of the biggest deals in recent NBA history. If the answer is no, this entire experiment could unravel just as quickly as it came together. And honestly, if Morant can simply stay healthy and remain on the floor, there's every reason to believe he can return to being the dynamic 20-plus point, 7-assist playmaker who completely changes the pace of an offense. The best part for Portland? They didn't lock themselves into a long-term gamble. Morant is under contract for only 2 more seasons. If he returns to all-star form, the Blazers can confidently offer him an extension. If he doesn't, they can simply let the contract expire or move him before it does. It's a classic high-upside, low-risk move. But acquiring Morant was only the beginning. Building a roster that actually works around him is a real challenge. And solving that puzzle may require Portland to sacrifice some of the very identity that made last year's team so exciting. To understand the biggest question surrounding this roster, we have to talk about someone who wasn't part of the trade at all, Damian Lillard. Morant may have been the headline acquisition, but Dame's return could prove just as important. After missing last season with injury, the greatest offensive player in franchise history is expected to suit up once again. Before getting hurt during his 2024-25 campaign in Milwaukee, Lillard was still producing at an elite level, averaging around 25 points per game. He's not returning to Portland to play a supporting role. He expects to have the ball in his hands. And that's where things become complicated. Just 1 season ago, Portland's biggest problem was a lack of healthy guards. Injuries to Scoot Henderson, Drew Holiday, and Shaedon Sharpe left the backcourt stretched thin for much of the year. Fast forward 1 offseason, and the situation has completely flipped. Instead of having too few guards, the Blazers might suddenly have too many. Ja Morant, Damian Lillard, Drew Holiday, Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe. That's one of the deepest guard rotations in the entire NBA. The problem? There simply aren't enough minutes or starting spots to keep everyone satisfied. If Portland wants to maximize its talent, the obvious move is to start Morant and Lillard together. On paper, it's an offensive dream. 2 elite shot creators who can attack the rim, create for teammates, and completely control the tempo of a game. But every advantage comes with a cost. That backcourt doesn't solve Portland's spacing concerns. If anything, it could make them even more noticeable. And defensively, it pushes the Blazers away from the identity that carried them to the playoffs just a season ago. Still, if Morant returns to all-star form, that's probably a trade-off Portland is willing to accept. The rest of the starting lineup fits around them surprisingly well. Toumani Camara has quietly developed into one of the league's best offensive role players and is rapidly becoming a cornerstone of this franchise. Deni Avdija, coming off a breakout season, provides another versatile playmaker after averaging 24. 2 points, 6, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. His ability to handle the ball while defending multiple positions gives Portland valuable flexibility. Anchoring the paint is Donovan Clingan, whose size and rim protection provide exactly the kind of defensive presence this roster needs. On paper, That's an incredibly talented starting five. And the depth doesn't stop there. Coming off the bench, Portland can still roll out Drew Holiday, Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, and Robert Williams. Talent isn't the issue. Fit is. That starts with Damian Lillard. Now 36 years old, Dame is coming off a torn Achilles, one of the toughest injuries any player can face. Even for a superstar of his caliber, there's no guarantee he'll return as the same player. The good news is his shooting should age well. We've already seen flashes of that, including another impressive victory in the three-point contest during All-Star Weekend. His range has never been concerned. The bigger questions are everything else. Can he still create separation off the dribble? Can he consistently attack defenders the way he once did? And can Portland realistically expect him to carry the same offensive workload that defined his first era with the franchise? Even if the answer to all those questions is yes, another challenge immediately appears. He's sharing the backcourt with John Morant. Like Lillard, Morant is a 6'2" guard whose greatest strengths come on the offensive end. Individually, each player is talented enough to build an offense around. Together, however, they recreate the exact problem Portland spent years trying to escape. Defense. One undersized, offense-first guard can usually be hidden within a defensive scheme. More than any player Portland added this offseason, Norrie may ultimately determine whether the season becomes the beginning of a championship-caliber future or simply another talented team that never fully reaches potential. So where does all of this leave the Trailblazers? The truth is, they still have work to do. The Western Conference isn't getting any easier. San Antonio and Oklahoma City are coming off deep playoff runs and currently sit atop the conference hierarchy. Behind them are proven contenders like Denver, Minnesota, and the Lakers, each led by some of the league's biggest stars. Breaking into that elite tier won't happen overnight, but that doesn't mean Portland's offseason should be viewed as anything less than a success. The goal was never to transform the Blazers into instant championship favorites. The goal was to raise their ceiling, to take a promising young playoff team and give it another level. This roster isn't perfect. It has clear weaknesses, difficult questions, and more than a little uncertainty. But it's also loaded with enough talent to make Portland one of the most intriguing teams in the NBA next season. That's why this isn't the same Portland Trail Blazers team we watched a year ago. They have a new superstar, a franchise legend returning home, a first-time head coach with a fresh vision, and a ceiling that's dramatically higher than before. They have enough firepower to challenge anyone in a 7-game series, and enough unanswered questions to make almost any outcome believable. Now it's your turn. How far do you think the Portland Trail Blazers can go next season? Let me know your predictions in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another NBA deep dive. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.